I've always believed that trust isn't something you demand. It's something earned slowly through choices and consistency. Emily and I had shared nearly 4 years together, and I thought we understood each other well enough to know where we stood. She was magnetic, vibrant, effortlessly drawing people in. I was a counterbalance. Quiet, steady, more at ease with calm than chaos. A week before her company's summer gathering, she mentioned it casually over dinner. "It's at Mason's Lake House this year," she said, swirling her fork in her pasta. "Everyone's bringing their partners, but you hate crowds, so I'll just go with a team." I kept quiet for a moment. I knew Mason, a man whose charm often masked a lack of restraint. The last time we'd all met, he made some offhand comment about Emily's dress being too distracting. She'd laughed it off, but I hadn't. "Just be careful," I said quietly. "These parties get out of hand. Too much drinking, people pushing boundaries." "You're overthinking," she replied, rolling her eyes. "It's just a party." But sometimes, a single night is all it takes for things to unravel. The night came quickly. Emily looked effortless. Black top, jeans, simple elegance. I offered to drive her. She declined with a kiss on my cheek. "I'll text when I'm back," she promised. Midnight passed. Then 1 a.m. Then 2. By 3, I couldn't pretend I was asleep anymore. I called her multiple times. Finally, a message lit up my screen. "I'll explain tomorrow." "Don't wake up." The words weren't offensive, but they carried a weight. By morning, I was still at the kitchen table, coffee untouched, mind spinning. When she returned, disheveled, sweatshirt not hers, makeup smudged, hair tangled, my chest tightened. I didn't question her immediately. "Coffee," I offered. She nodded, but the silence between us was thicker than any words. "Please, hear me out before you react," she said, voice trembling. I drank too much. Mason, people crashed at the house. I stayed in the guest room. Nothing really happened. We kissed, but it was a mistake. I want to trust her, but instinct warns louder than desire. "You ignored me because you didn't want to admit I was right," I said. "I didn't plan it," she whispered, tears brimming. "No one plans betrayal. It just happens when you think you're safe." She promised to quit her job, block him, do anything. I looked at her, searching for the woman I thought I knew, the one I had built my life with, but she seemed like a stranger wearing her face. The rest of the day blurred. She cried behind the bedroom door. I wandered streets without aim until I reached the lake, empty and quiet, littered with the remnants of last night's revelry. The stillness felt judgmental, heavy. By evening, she texted, "Please come home. Let's talk." When I returned, she had packed a bag. "If you need space, I'll stay with my sister," she said softly. I nodded. There was nothing left to discuss. Sometimes silence becomes a language of what trust is broken. Days turn into weeks. Her messages piled up, apologies, explanations, attempts to shrink the night into a mistake. I never replied. Forgiveness isn't a word. It's a reconstruction, and ours had collapsed beyond repair. A month later, an envelope arrived. Her handwriting. Inside, a photograph of us from a past summer, carefree and laughing, in a letter. If I could return to that night at the lake, I would leave before it started. "You warned me because you cared." I wanted freedom, but freedom without respect is loneliness. I read it 3 times, then folded it, keeping it not for hope, but as a memory of lessons learned too late. The next weekend, I returned to the lake, not for her, but to release. Pine and rain filled the air. I picked up a smooth stone and sent it skipping across the water, watching ripples fade into stillness. Betrayal doesn't always end in anger. Sometimes it ends in quiet understanding, in recognizing that warnings are gifts meant to prevent these lessons. At home, the apartment felt lighter. Her things were gone, the walls bare, yet the space felt open, peaceful. I made coffee, sat by the window, and finally admitted aloud, "You can't save someone who mistakes care for control." The following morning, I returned her letter with one line added at the bottom. "You were right. It was just a party." And like most parties, it ended when the lights came on.